Hey everyone, how are you? It's Angus Fairbairn here from Boss Fitness. I welcome you to this video where we're going to be focusing about how I didn't quit sugar. So you can tell pretty much first and foremost from that our focus is going to be on going deep into the realms of sugar. Recently, sugar has been deemed as a dietary devil and just been receiving a tricolour of demonizing in terms of grabbing media, pretty much headline attention. So back in the 80s, it used to be that fat was the cause of people, gaining fat. So by that, things like eating avocados, oils and stuff like that, that was to blame for people actually in their their weight gain. But now you fast forward into 2015 and where we're at now, it's sugar which has been pinpointed as the actual dietary devil. So what I want to do here is I guess shed some light onto you guys exactly sort of why we need sugar within our body, and also the damages that can happen when you cut it out, and I guess how hard you can make it for yourself, to actually achieve fat loss when you cut out sugar. So believe it or not, we actually need to make sure that we're getting sugar to make sure that we're getting the energy that our cells need, because the energy that comes from sugar is actually our cells' favourite source. So obviously our cells are beasts which function 24/7, making sure that they can distribute nutrients and stuff towards the muscles within our body and also our organs. We want to make sure that we're not putting our cells into a stressful environment. So this is actually something that happens within cells doing their job. So obviously when it comes to sugar, it's quite often found in a lot of things. So, but you fast forward till 2015, we see that it's becoming heavily popular, that we can see recipes for sugar-free this, sugar-free that, sugar-free whatever, and it's becoming so popular. But people are cutting out sugar as if it's like just a craze or some fad or some sort of diet that's just become boomed up, kind of like the Gussie Cambogia trend as well. So the thing here is that you don't need to be cutting it out unless of course you're actually allergic to it or you're a diabetic and you know that you definitely cannot inhibit that amount of sugar within your body. So when it comes to actually working sugar within your body, we obviously know that it's necessary for proper bodily function. In terms of actually working it into your overall daily sort of aspects and making sure that you can break through these sort of plateaus that you're going through and achieve fat loss, we want to make sure that we're in what we call an energy deficit or a caloric deficit, okay? Because when it comes to fat loss as a whole, it's sort of like a pyramid that we're looking at, okay? So with the bottom part being the most effective and sort of the most important for fat loss, we have energy intake or caloric intake. The second up we have macronutrients, so protein, carbs and fat. From there we have weight training, from there we have cardio, and then up in the air in terms of importance for fat loss we have supplements. So in terms of obviously being the most important here when it comes to caloric intake and caloric energy that you're consuming, we want to make sure that we're working sugar into that, okay? So obviously sugar, it does contain a certain amount of nutrients, okay? So it does have nutritional value. We want to make sure we're getting in about 5 grams per kilo of lean body weight, okay? So if you need to work that out, there's a few calculators that you can do to work that out in terms of Google, but working on from there, we want to make sure that that's being worked into on a roughly consistent basis. Myself, I don't actually stress about that too much at all, because I know that through following an 80-20 rule of about 80% clean and 20% whatever else I want, I know that I can therefore achieve great fat loss and sustain a lean and healthy body, no dramas. But for you ladies, when it comes to actually working out roughly how much of a caloric intake you need, the rough sort of way is roughly about, depending on how active you are, we want to make sure that you use your body weight in pounds, and we multiply that by anywhere between 11 and 14 based on how active you are, okay? So if you're not very active at all and you just pretty much live in office jobs and you chill out and sit down heaps and stuff like that without actually expelling too much energy, but then what we do here is we do your body weight in pounds times by 11. If you're very active though and someone who trains 6+ times a week, whatever, you probably do it body weight in pounds times by 14. But that gives you a rough idea of roughly what your actual overall energy intake should be. And then from there, based on the individual, we can work out roughly sort of how your protein, carbs and fat should break down. But basically there you can see there that for fat loss we need to make sure that we're having that overall intake of food relevant to sort of your activity levels. So if we talk about sugar again, obviously one of the key things that I see floating about is that sugar causes fat gain, or that it causes you to gain belly fat. This is just absolute BS, because what actually causes you to gain weight is by being in a calorie surplus. So in other words, intaking in abundance, sort of eating too many calories and too much food in relevance to sort of how much you weigh and what your activity levels are. So just putting it down to sugar is just a complete joke. Just like saying that sugar is addictive. It's actually not an addictive source. That's like another myth of saying sugar is keeping you hungry. No, sugar is not keeping you hungry. It's yourself that you're not choosing to eat food that's keeping you hungry. There's so many myths cruising around, and it's just absolutely crazy, and it frustrates me because sugar is, fantastic. It tastes good, especially if you've got a sweet tooth. So, like a common question as well is just how do I stop the sweet tooth cravings. Well, you know, don't. Make the most of them, work them into your day-to-day perspective like what I like to do. What I'll often do is that each day I'll put into MyFitnessPal, because MyFitnessPal is a great free log you can get for your phone, which enables you to be able to track and sort of put in foods, and then it works out for you the nutritional content for it. So what I like to do is actually in MyFitnessPal, within the diary, I'll actually put in the dessert that I want to eat first, or the sweet item, and therefore work the rest of my day's intake around it so that I can hit my overall target. So in terms of you actually wanting to know why, you know, you're sort of going through these cravings or how you stop them, well, you know, what happens is when you tell the brain that you can't have something, what happens? You want it more, don't you? Exactly. So in terms of here, you're putting yourself into a bit of a struggle and a bit of a negative cycle through trying to go through the battle of trying to cut out this craving. So instead what we do is we work it into the actual equation of your life and show you how you can actually, you know, eat on a consistent basis, which is really simple. There's that many myths that are just out there, which is why I've created an actual blog in relation to this. So if you're watching this video on YouTube, or what you can do is you can click the link in the comment box where I've actually included a link where you can actually view this blog as a whole, where I've got a lot of myths where I actually debunk and show you exactly why they're wrong and why sugar isn't the dietary devil here, and how you can work it into your life for fat loss and general health and well-being. But even just through what we've shared here, you can see that sugar is definitely something where you need it for not only just bodily function but also for sanity. Yeah, and obviously here you want to make sure that obviously you know, don't just go smashing down a chocolate or Krispy Kremes or, you know, some Fruit Loops just because I've told you that you need to eat more sugar. That's not the story here at all. Yeah, obviously, you know, when it comes to life as a general and whole, you want to make sure that you're roughly limiting your intake of you know, white refined type sugar. Why? Because it's, you know, sort of just not really naturally recurring. It's in fruits and vegetables and stuff. So you want to make sure that you're getting in those nutrients, those phytonutrients within fruits and vegetables, and that you're staying consistent to make sure that your body's feeling nourished from the inside out. So don't be a hater of sugar, be a lover of it, embrace your sweet tooth. And if you're someone who, I guess, struggles with this whole aspect of sugar and just nutrition in general, well, then what I'd love to do is for you to put your details in by clicking the link below, and we can have a quick 10-minute free chat. I want to share with you some exact information of how we can you know, get yourself together so that you can be supercharging fat loss in your life. Because who actually likes being stuck in a plateau? It sucks, because you're putting in all that effort and you're not getting anywhere. So what I want to do is make sure that I can share with you some fantastic things that you can be doing, showing you how you can be moving forward at a much faster rate than what you are now, and really feeling that much more in control of nutrition, because it's nutrition that accounts for 80% of your results. It's been fantastic sharing with you guys today. I hope you enjoyed it. Any comments or anything, just post below. Otherwise, make sure you do check out the blog, because there's some fantastic information that you can be learning there and becoming that much more in the zone about sugar. But either way, have a fantastic day, and I'll see you next time. Take care.